A subscription box company sent me a photo of my dead mother, and the note tucked inside it is why I'm telling you this. Before all this started, my life felt like a series of copied and pasted days. Wake up in a too small apartment with beige walls. Put on the same coffee-stained uniform. Clock in at a job that could have been done by a half-asleep chatbot. Clock out. Repeat. I shared the place with my best friend, Alex. They were the only vibrant thing in my life. All bright socks and snarky comebacks and bizarre late-night baking experiments. Still, even with Alex around, everything felt muted. Like I was waiting for something, and I didn't even know what. That's probably why the ad got me. You've seen them, probably swiped past a few this morning. Subscription boxes. But not just socks or razors or snacks. This one promised something deeper. Nostalgia. Curated. Personalized. Powerful. Cheesy. Absolutely. But something about that word, nostalgia, hooked into my chest and tugged. I clicked. Their site was slick. Minimalist. Soothing colors. A friendly chatbot walked me through a questionnaire, my birth year, favorite cartoons, snacks I missed, places I grew up. I filled it all out, hit submit, and forgot about it. Until 2 weeks later, a white box showed up. I came home to find it on our doorstep, sitting like a gift from the past. Alex peeked over my shoulder as I opened it. Inside, candy. 90s candy. Sour powder that made my face collapse. Chalky little discs in a roll. Bubble gum in a pouch that lost its flavor after 30 seconds. Alex laughed. Holy crap, is that zombie sour dust? I haven't seen that since 5th grade. It was perfect. The smell. The colors. The sheer hit of memory. I hadn't smiled that wide in months. I didn't even care that I'd just paid $25 for nostalgia-flavored sugar. Box 1. A win. Box 2 came a month later. It had a toy. A stretchy, over-muscled action figure with a little plastic sword and a grin that looked like he'd seen war. I hadn't thought about that toy in decades. But the moment I held it, everything came flooding back. Summer afternoons, scraped knees, backyard battles. Damn, Alex said, flipping it over. This thing's ancient. And it smells like childhood. They were right. It was uncanny. Not just general 90s stuff. This box felt made for me. I figured the algorithm was just really good. Creepy good, maybe. But I was still impressed. Boxes 3 and 4 kept the dopamine flowing. A DVD of a goofy 80s adventure movie I used to watch with my mom. A mixtape CD of every alt-rock band that got me through high school. It was all weirdly, wildly accurate. The kind of stuff even I had forgotten about. And then, Box 5 showed up. And everything changed. It was a Tuesday. I remember because Alex made pancakes for dinner, and we were arguing about syrup-to-bite ratio when the doorbell rang. Another white box. We both paused. Didn't you just get one last week? Alex asked. I shrugged. Maybe it's early? We brought it inside. This one felt heavier. I peeled it open, expecting more retro junk food. But there, nestled in the shredded paper, was a small, worn, stuffed bear. I stopped breathing. The bear was brown, with one button eye slightly loose. Its fur was matted in the exact way I remembered. I whispered, Barnaby. Alex looked at me. What? I held it out like something sacred. My mom gave me this bear when I was 5. After I got stitches. He went missing after her funeral. You mean it's a copy? Alex asked, eyebrows raised. No, not a replica. This is him. There was a silence in the kitchen so thick, I thought I'd choke on it. That bear had been gone for over 15 years. I'd never told anyone about him. Not even Alex. So how the hell was he here? That night, I couldn't sleep. Barnaby sat on the kitchen table, staring. I stared back from the hallway, heart thudding. At 2 a.m., I emailed the company. To whom it may concern. The item in my most recent box was a stuffed bear I lost over 15 years ago. This is not a generic item. This is my actual bear. How did you acquire this? This is disturbing. They replied 2 hours later. Dear valued subscriber, we're so glad you're enjoying your personalized experience. Our proprietary algorithm connects you with meaningful artifacts to bring your nostalgia to life. We hope you continue enjoying your journey. Sincerely, the development team. The email made my skin crawl. Meaningful artifacts? They were admitting it. And still smiling through it. When I told Alex the next morning, they tried to rationalize it. Maybe your mom donated it before she passed, and someone scanned it? Maybe they tracked it down from a thrift store database. They didn't sound convinced. Neither was I. And when the 6th box arrived, only 3 days later, The fear really started to set in. The sixth box showed up 4 days later. No order confirmation. No charge to my card. Just another plain, white box on our doorstep. Alex spotted it first. They were headed out to grab coffee and froze mid-step. "It's here again," they muttered. I didn't move. Didn't want to touch it. But we couldn't just leave it outside. So I brought it in, holding it like a bomb. We opened it together this time. Inside? A watch. Not just any watch. My grandfather's watch. Silver. Worn band. A crack on the face like a lightning bolt frozen in glass. It had been stolen from my gym locker 3 years ago. Gone. Reported. Forgotten. Now here it was. Ticking. Waiting. Alex didn't say anything at first. They just sat down slowly, arms folded. "You never mentioned this," they said finally. "I didn't think I needed to," I said, voice shaking. It was gone. They didn't answer. Just stared at the box like it might breathe. 2 nights later, another box. Smaller. Lighter. I tried to ignore it. I really did. But by morning, I cracked. Inside was a single concert ticket. A faded stub from a night in college. I'd kept that stub in my coat pocket. My coat got stolen on the subway. I cried more for the ticket than the wallet. And now, here it was. Creased in the same place I remembered. Like it had never left. "Okay, this is messed up," Alex said. "No way they just found this." I nodded. "I think they took it," I said quietly. "Back then. I think. Someone's been stealing these things for years." The words felt insane even as I said them. But what else could explain it? They weren't returning memories. They were demonstrating power. Showing me they could reach into my past and pull out anything they wanted. I stopped sleeping. Alex started locking their bedroom door. Not because of me, but because we didn't know who else might walk through ours. We searched for answers. The website had no contact number, no cancel subscription button, just a glowing pastel interface that promised a journey through memory. We even looked up the company's domain registration. It was private, scrubbed clean. Alex muttered, "Who are these people?" I didn't answer, because I was starting to think they weren't people at all. I emailed them again. This time, I didn't bother being polite. "Stop sending me boxes. This isn't nostalgia. This is a violation. How are you getting these things? I never gave you permission to go this deep. Cancel my account. Now." Their reply was instant. "Dear valued subscriber, we're thrilled to see how meaningful your experience has become. Your journey isn't over yet. In fact, it's just beginning." That night, I threw every box in the dumpster. Even Barnaby. It felt like betrayal. But I couldn't look at him anymore, not knowing where he'd come from. Alex watched me from the balcony, saying nothing. They didn't argue. Didn't say I was being dramatic. Because deep down, they felt it too. Something was wrong. Not just creepy wrong. Fundamentally wrong. The next morning, the boxes were back. Not on the porch. Not on the stoop. Inside. On the coffee table. Arranged neatly, like exhibits. Alex dropped their coffee. I felt my stomach turn to ice. The apartment had been locked. No signs of entry. No broken windows. No footprints. Just the boxes. Waiting. "I think we need to leave," Alex whispered. And for the first time, I agreed. We booked a last-minute rental upstate. Packed what we could. Left everything else behind. I didn't tell Alex the real reason I chose that town. It was where my mom used to take me camping. I remembered it being safe. Sacred. Untouched by everything else. We thought we could outrun it. But when we pulled up to the cabin, a package was already waiting on the porch. Alex stood frozen. "You didn't, did you? Did you give them this address?" I shook my head. Of course not. I had made the reservation on a prepaid card. No names. No forwarding address. But the box knew. It always knew. That night, we sat in silence by the fireplace. I held the box in my lap. Didn't open it. Alex stared at the flames. Then they whispered, "What if it's not just about memories?" I looked up. "What do you mean?" Alex turned to me. I shadowed. "What if they're not showing you the past? What if they're practicing?" I didn't understand. "They've sent you things you lost," Alex said slowly. "Things that were stolen. Things that meant something." They leaned in. "What if next, they send something that hasn't happened yet?" That was when I noticed it. The box was warmer than before. Like it had been sitting near a heat source. Like a body. I didn't open it. Not that night. Because I was starting to suspect. The contents wouldn't be nostalgic. They'd be predictive. Or worse. A threat. I didn't sleep that night. The box sat on the edge of the fireplace hearth, untouched, but not ignored. It pulled at me, like it knew I was there, like it was waiting for the exact moment when I'd be too tired, too weak, to resist. But I didn't give in. Neither did Alex. They stayed up with me, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the flames like it was our last line of defense. We didn't talk much. Only once, near dawn, did Alex say, "If what's in that box hasn't happened yet, do we change it by opening it?" I didn't answer, because part of me didn't want to know. The next morning, we opened it. Not because we were ready, but because not knowing was worse than anything we imagined. The tape peeled back in a slow, reluctant whisper. Inside was a photo. A Polaroid. Fresh. Unfaded. It showed me, sitting on the floor of our apartment back in the city. A strange expression on my face. And behind me, Alex, standing by the window, looking out. But it wasn't a memory. We had never posed for that picture. In fact, it hadn't happened yet. Alex looked at it, then at me. "That's my shirt," they said slowly. "I haven't even worn that here." I flipped the photo over. A date was written in tiny cursive. Tomorrow. We burned the photo, but not before scanning it. Just in case. Even then, the image stayed with us, etched into our minds. It felt like a warning, or a promise, and maybe it was both. The next day, we tried to live normally. Made breakfast, read, watched a dumb cooking show on Alex's laptop. Then around 2 p.m., I heard a sound. A soft clack, like something light dropping onto wood. I froze. So did Alex. We turned to the cabin door. Another box, sitting on the welcome mat. No knock. No footsteps. Just there. "Okay," Alex said, voice shaking. "They're escalating." I nodded, and I felt something crack inside me. Something past fear. Something like fury. They were playing with us. This time, we didn't open it. We threw it back into the woods behind the cabin. Deep. Far. I made sure it was buried under branches, where no one could find it. I hoped that was the end. It wasn't. That night, we heard scratching. At the walls. At the windows. Soft. Deliberate. Alex grabbed the fireplace poker. I held a kitchen knife. We moved slowly from room to room, whispering. Nothing outside. Nothing inside. But when we returned to the living room, the box was back, sitting by the fire, dry, untouched by dirt or rain. I couldn't breathe. Alex sank into the nearest chair. "They never left, did they?" I shook my head. "No, they were always inside." That's when we made the decision. We'd leave at first light. We'd go off-grid, throw away our phones, cut up our cards, start over. But first, we had to open the box. We needed to know what came next. Inside this one, a letter, handwritten, same elegant, neat cursive as before. "You're doing well. Resistance is part of the process. Nostalgia, after all, is born of pain. And you have so much more pain to give." There was no signature, just a final line. "You should have opened the one we left inside." Alex paled. Inside. We searched the cabin. Every drawer. Every cabinet. And then we found it. Tucked in the oven. Unopened. Still warm. I don't remember placing it there. Neither did Alex. And that was the worst part. We opened it on the cabin floor. Inside was a small black object. A voice recorder. The kind therapists or detectives use. I hit play. There was silence. Then, my voice. Breathless. Panicked. "If you're hearing this, it means they already got inside. Alex, I don't know if you're still with me. I hope you are. But if I'm gone, don't go back to the apartment. Don't talk to anyone who says they can help. Don't trust letters. Or photos. Or anything in a white box. They're not sending gifts. They're planting anchors. They're building something. A timeline. A map. And we're the pins on it." Click. Silence. I looked at Alex. They were pale. "That wasn't a prank." "No," I whispered. "That was me." We left the cabin at sunrise. No more talking. Just action. We ditched everything. Phones, cards, IDs. Burned them in a trash barrel behind an old gas station 2 towns over. Alex shaved their head that afternoon. I dyed mine black in a gas station bathroom. We bought burner phones, fake names, and kept moving. But deep down, I knew something was following us. Not a person, not a company, but something much, much older, and much smarter. Something that doesn't follow you. It waits. Because it knows you'll return. Because it makes sure there's nowhere else to go. We kept moving. Motel to motel. Cash only. Different names every time. We never stayed in one place more than a night. We didn't speak to strangers. We didn't make calls. We were ghosts trying to outrun a memory engine that didn't need permission. But the boxes, they kept finding us. Sometimes they were waiting in motel drawers. Sometimes propped up against the shower curtain. One time, it was sitting in the microwave, already warm, like it had been waiting there for hours. It didn't matter where we went. They always knew. One night, in a town so small it didn't even have a gas station, we hit a wall. Alex was sitting on the edge of the motel bed, staring at their hands. "They're not tracking us," they said flatly. "They don't have to." I looked up from the curtains I'd been triple checking. "What do you mean?" Alex didn't blink. "They're inside us. In our decisions. We think we're avoiding them, but we're walking into every place they want us to go." They held up their arm. There was a new scar I hadn't noticed before. Thin. Precise. Parallel to a mark I had on my own. How long had they been watching us? That was the night we decided to fight back. We knew we couldn't beat them with fire or distance. We had to beat them with exposure. If they wanted to operate in the shadows, we dragged them into the light. We found an old laptop at a thrift store, booted it from a thumb drive with no OS. Alex was the brains behind the tech. They started digging. Nothing on the company's name. The domain was a shell. The IPs? Spoofed, scattered, routed through dead nodes on long-abandoned darknet forums. But then Alex found something. Not a site. A pattern. The same subscription behavior had been reported on obscure message boards going back years, decades, even. Different names. Different packaging. Always the same structure. A promise of deeply personal nostalgia. A perfect memory from childhood. A shift to missing or stolen items. Then, silence. Then a final message. Every single thread ended the same way. With a post that simply read, "It's here." And nothing after that. No follow-up. No goodbye. Just that. Alex sat back in their chair. "I think this thing, whatever it is, it's been doing this a long time." "How long?" They didn't answer for a while. Then they said, "As long as people have missed things." That's when we made a mistake. We posted our story. Not everything, just the outline. The boxes. The bear. The watch. The letter. No names, no location. It blew up overnight. Thousands of views. Comments. People saying it was fake, of course. But then others, quiet, late-night accounts, started messaging us. I got one too. They sent me my mother's handwriting. They knew my brother's middle name, and I've never told anyone. The messages got darker. More desperate. I haven't opened mine yet. I'm scared. I opened it, and something changed. Something's watching me through the box. Then, silence. Accounts disappearing. Posts vanishing. Our post? Shadow banned within 48 hours. Alex tried to log in. The screen flickered once. Then turned black. Just one line appeared. "You were warned." That night, the final box came. It wasn't white this time. It was matte black, like a void pressed into cardboard. It had no label. No logo. Just our names, both our names, written in red ink. Alex stared at it for a long time. "We shouldn't open it." "We have to," I said. "Or we'll never know what they want." "No," Alex said slowly. "We already know what they want." I didn't understand at first. Then Alex reached into their pocket and pulled out something I hadn't seen in weeks. "Barnaby. The bear." I took him back, they said, voice trembling. I don't even remember doing it. I just found myself holding him. Why? I missed him. That's when it clicked. It wasn't just about delivering things. It was about tempting us to take them back, to reattach ourselves to the past, to reach for what was gone. Even if it meant letting something else in. "They feed on longing," I said aloud. Alex nodded. "And now, they want the final thing." I opened the box. Inside was a photo album. Black leather. No title. We opened it together. The pages were blank at first, but as we flipped, photos began to appear. Not printed. Forming. Like ink bleeding into paper. Snapshots of us. Together. In places we'd never been. Moments we never lived. Alex and I at a wedding. At a cabin we never rented. Smiling. Hugging. Growing old. A life we could have had. A life they were offering us. The final page had 2 photos. One showed Alex, sitting alone in a dark room. Empty eyes. Hands on their lap. Still. The other showed me, looking into the camera. Smiling. But not with my real smile. With something else. Something vacant. Hollow. Something replaced. And beneath them, a note. "Choose the one you want to keep." Alex slammed the album shut. "No. No. We're not playing this. But the words were already echoing through the room. Choose. 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 The room pulsed with silence. The kind that feels heavy. Wet. Like it's crawling under your skin. Choose the one you want to keep. The message hadn't just been written. It was alive. Each word pressing on us like a verdict. Alex was pale. Their hands trembled on the edge of the album. I'm not doing this, they whispered. I'm not choosing. But the album didn't close. The final 2 photos stayed there, waiting. One of me, smiling, but wrong. And one of Alex, silent in a room with no light. I felt something twist in my gut. A choice that wasn't ours. One they had already made. We tried to destroy the album. Fire didn't touch it. Water didn't smear the ink. We ripped it apart. The pages reformed. The photos grew back like scars. No matter what we did, the final page always returned. That same terrible offer. That same impossible ultimatum. Choose. I started blacking out. Losing time. I'd wake up in different motel rooms. Not knowing how I got there. Alex always nearby. Tired, wary, distant. One morning I found myself at a gas station 2 states over, staring at a box already in my hands. I hadn't seen it arrive. Hadn't opened it. But it was open anyway. Inside, a single post-it note. My handwriting. Just 4 words. Don't let them take. Take what? Alex? Me? Both of us? What did they want? But deep down, I already knew. It was never about memories. It was never about nostalgia. It was about leverage. Pain. Longing. Regret. They were playing with it. Shaping it. Crafting a reality where the only thing we could control was how we lost. It happened 3 days later. We were in a crumbling Airbnb near the edge of a dead lake. No cell service. No neighbors. It was supposed to be a place they couldn't find. But that night, I woke up to silence. Too quiet. Alex was gone. I ran through the house. Every room. Empty. Then I saw it. The box. Bigger now. The size of a coffin. Covered in black wax paper. Tied with a single red ribbon. It was already open. Inside was the photo album. Only now, the final page was missing. In its place was a Polaroid. Fresh. Clean. Alex smiling. In the sun. Alive. But behind them. Shadows. 6 or 7. Maybe more. Faceless. Watching. And one of them was me. A folded note lay on top. Not typed. Not scripted. Handwritten. My handwriting. They offered a deal. I said no. But they don't accept no. So I said yes on one condition. That you live. That you remember. Don't try to find me. Don't try to fix this. Just leave the boxes alone. I collapsed. Screamed. Cried until my throat felt torn. I tried calling their name. Over and over. But the house swallowed my voice like it had been waiting for this moment. Like it had practiced. Like it knew. I drove for hours after that. Didn't know where. Didn't care. The box sat in the back seat. No matter how many times I threw it out. It came back. I stopped fighting it. Let it sit. Let it breathe. Weeks passed. Then months. I stopped getting the boxes. They didn't need to send them anymore. They had taken what they wanted. I went home eventually. Back to the beige apartment with the peeling walls. The one Alex and I used to share. It looked the same. Like nothing had ever happened. But it wasn't the same. Because I was the only one who came back. And they left me with one final gift. It arrived on a rainy morning. A single white envelope. No return address. Inside, a Polaroid. Alex, looking over their shoulder. Laughing. Like they were mid-sentence. Like they were still here. And on the back, in that same sharp cursive. We can bring anything back. That night, I sat with the photo on the kitchen table. Same spot where we opened the first box. I stared at it for hours. Told myself I wouldn't respond. Wouldn't break. Wouldn't say it out loud. But just before dawn, I whispered it anyway. 3 words. Barely audible. Torn from somewhere deeper than my soul. I want Alex. That was 1 week ago. And this morning, I found a box on my porch. It's white. Unopened. Still warm. And written on the side, in my own handwriting. Who's next?